welcome back to another episode of PODCAD.
Yes.
We are joined by a very famous, don't mind the beeps, that's just the trucks loading all of the awards for this future award-winning illustrator right here, the greatest, Daniel Hubbz. How are you doing?
Man, I'm great. It's great to be back. I appreciate you guys bringing me back on the pod, and let's get it going.
Yeah.
Let's get it going.
So have you been mewing?
Not really, no.
Okay.
Just doing my
Wait, that's
thesis
the
right
first
now.
question you want to ask him?
Just thesis. This guy was asking me like last night what else I got going on right now. It's just thesis.
Thesis, man. I
Yeah,
feel like,
thesis,
how many
thesis.
classes you got going on?
Well, I've got 4 technically. Like thinking, it counts as 2. So it's actually like other than thesis, like the workload's not bad. I got thinking, so I'm trying to dabble in some printmaking. I've got
Fun.
coding, which is going to be an issue. Like I hope I graduate after that. See how that goes. Like, I don't know if you guys have done coding.
Oh, I've
before,
done
but
coding for
What
2
have you
years
been
in the
struggling?
The
pandemic.
other options weren't great, so like I had no choice. It was coding or something else real bad.
what was
but
it, something else?
I don't know. It's not good. It's not
I feel
good,
like
trust me.
the something else was the good
But
option.
then I got history of type, which is another issue right now because like
Yeah.
I'm just so focused on thesis. Like the other classes are kind of secondary at this point.
yeah.
But thinking's been really fun. I like that one.
And these
you
are
just-
the last classes, and you graduate?
Yeah, if coding goes
Oh.
well, then
Oh,
I'm
okay.
out.
Yeah.
We'll see, TBD. But yeah, I
Coding
got
yourself
grad
a
X this
diploma.
year. Yeah, like that's.
Are you like making the apple pie recipe?
Dude,
No?
the thing is, I
Just
haven't done
no?
anything right now because my teacher's just
So
chill.
calm.
He's like, he doesn't believe in deadlines, right? So you just submit stuff whenever. I gotta do it sooner or later.
Sounds like coding.
So I'll just put it off for now and hopefully reading week. That's what I'm doing on reading week. That's my plan. Just catch up on however many weeks we've had of coding so far that I haven't looked at. Fun stuff.
Month and a half.
Yeah, probably do. It's not good. It is not good. But at least, yeah, my next 2 thesis illustrations aren't due for next, I think, till a month. So we're good on that end.
Yeah, I'm behind on 1.
So you have 7 right now?
I got a 7 right now.
Who's your prof again?
Mabley.
Does he like does he care about that? Because like my class, people hand in like whips and just refs all the time, and I think
Yeah. Same here. Yeah.
yeah, like as
I'm
long as
super
it's
chill.
done for grad X, then you should be good. Are you planning on like putting all 10 there, or are you gonna pick your top 8?
My pieces are pretty big.
That's true. We don't get. I've been planning that.
Yeah.
Have you? Because like
No.
because I've never done like a series like this
Yeah.
where I'm doing 10. So like as I'm working on it. I have like a Photoshop document of every single piece I've made so far, and as I'm working, I'm figuring out like, okay, how much space do I have left?
Yeah.
Do I have to do a smaller piece now? Do I have to do maybe by reusing
Yeah.
the same color? So I'm really focused on that,
My-
but it's tough. 'Cause
uh-huh.
It's like what 4x8,
Yeah, 4x8.
and
like
yeah,
a
you're
s-
working. You're only gonna fit like 5 of them. At this
That's
point,
like a
right?
standard
know,
piece of plywood. That's small.
yeah.
Yeah, it's-
That's
Well,
like
it's
that's like the size of this.
It's not even plywood,
It's
man.
smaller than I
It's
think,
just
yeah, it's-
cardboard.
Oh,
You know
you
what?
get to go up on the cardboard?
Unless you get the wall space.
That's-
You gotta get your marks up.
Look,
How do you secure a wall space?
I
like,
don't.
guarantee
It's a
one?
myth.
Okay,
Like
no.
I asked once.
Pro-
and
pro
apparently
tip.
You gotta get like a high mark.
Yes,
and
that's what they say.
all I know.
It's based
Is
off
it
of
just
marks.
your mark and thesis or overall?
Thesis.
I think it's
Okay,
small.
thank God, because coding was gonna.
You're really
gonna get the
this-
cardboard,
I'm
bro,
good.
after that.
This coding, man. It's
Yes,
really
we're
bringing
good.
the spirits down.
Dude,
But look,
it's-
my rationale with space is just fuck them, make them as big as you can. What are they gonna do?
Like,
Not
right now.
exhibit your work?
Yeah, let's take up 2.
Well,
Yes, probably.
I don't care. What's
They'll give
What are
you
they gonna
the
do?
reverse side of the cardboard.
just
The
buy-
inside of the cardboard.
Yeah.
Just packed up, ready to go.
Well, you just gotta,
Back home.
I don't know what get. I'm not gonna say any names here, but just for these Hamiltonians, get like a nice new tackle set.
Listen, I heard a little
butter them
rumor
up
though.
a bit. I don't know what they do in Hamilton.
I did hear a rumor that there will be some illustration work in some of the graphic design rooms this year because there's
Really
not
no
a
space for illustration.
well because there's
enough graphic design.
supposedly
Oh, that
there's
too.
supposedly there's like more people in illustration graduating this year than like the past 2 or 3 years or something, and
Illustration's up. Let's
backed
go.
up.
and graphic
go.
graphic design is down
heard-
bad.
Are you in? You're not in design, right?
I'm a graphic design, but I'm doing my thesis in print. So.
Because I heard like the thesis in design is pretty weak, like compared to illustration. So I guess maybe that's why people aren't doing it.
Comparing it, I think it's once they made it not
Depends on what you make.
mandatory, people started just doing like ISPs or
Yeah.
graduating because they just wanted to get out,
Mm-hmm.
you know? I think making it optional kind of killed thesis in every program, but
Yeah,
that's
It's not mandatory.
that's to be debated.
You might as well get something out
like
of
every-
it for the past 4 years because I haven't got anything else. So GradX, like,
Yeah.
even the mega crits are going online now. In the last
Yeah,
one,
yeah, yeah.
Who
but-
knows? GradX might be online this year. You never know.
Oh,
But
God.
but you don't even need to do thesis to be part of GradX. That's the thing, right?
No, you can
every
just submit your own
graduate,
work, right?
Exactly, yeah. So every graduate gets to participate. So someone who's in design who's already like built a portfolio and stuff, why are they going to choose to take a,
But
2-credit class that
Can
could
it
like
only
10
be
in their
work
shit?
from this or last year, like during the
It can
semester?
it can be work from any time, whatever you want
Really?
to show for graduation. Yeah.
Damn, I thought it was only recent stuff.
I just want to chime in because in INTM there's like someone from like 2 years ago they put their piece in from 2 years ago from then, and then I
Damn.
was like, why are you putting in this for grad? I feel like
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
the thing about GradX too is like it doesn't have to be your graduating year. You can graduate from OCAD, but if you didn't do
Yeah.
GradX that year, you can do your GradX the next year. Like
True.
every OCAD student
Like Vlad.
gets one chance to do GradX. So like if you hypothetically if you really
If I fail
wanted
coding,
to.
then I do GradX this year and go back.
Yeah,
next
no,
year.
like that's I mean I know people that did that too, right? Like it's
Because of coding?
yes, yeah, no, it was
coding
totally
podcast.
totally the
The
coding.
The
Yeah.
bane of every single OCAD student's existence.
I think you can still get your $200 refund, you know.
It's too late for that now.
Too late.
like-
Yeah. Gotta commit. You'll do great.
Yeah.
So tell us about your thesis.
So my idea, I've had it for a while now because we did the thesis prep assignment in year 3. I don't know if you remember that. And I actually came up with it then, and like as soon as I did, like I kind of knew that's what I wanted to do. Like my first few ideas I had were like a little more personal and meaningful to me, but like it's got to be something I won't get sick of after like 4
Yeah.
or 5 pieces. So I got to really love it, and if I want my work to look its absolute best, it's got to be something I'm actually into. So I had the idea. I wanted to do something related to music, but in thesis it actually has to be a concept. It's not just, hey, I want to draw 10 album covers. Here you go.
Yeah.
So my idea was to do unreleased albums and have a GradX display that's essentially a record store displaying these albums as if they were released. So you have vinyls, tickets, posters. So it's
Yeah.
actual physical merchandise of those unreleased albums. I just got scrapped. Some got stolen. There's kind of different reasons for all of them.
Yeah.
And there's a lot out there, like more than I thought. Like my first step was kind of just researching unreleased albums that exist, and like Pink Floyd has some, Jimi Hendrix, the Beatles, Paul McCartney. There's quite a few out
Yeah.
there, so I had a lot to choose from. Like that was never an issue for me. So, like
Yeah.
my prof loved it last year, so I had no reason to change it because it's what I wanted to do. They liked it too. I got some good feedback on it. And I was going to work on it throughout the summer and get a head start, but I figured by the time school started, I wouldn't even like half the stuff anymore, so I wanted
Yeah.
to wait. I didn't really think about it much in the summer, but I knew that's what I wanted to do. And then the first month or two was pretty light because people
Yeah.
were just planning their ideas. Because I guess lots of
Yeah.
people changed it from last year. Did you have your idea planned out before?
Man, I hated that class. So I had it at 8:30 a.m. Like I was just full. The class was just full of like fucking like anime kids.
Oh, yeah, that's my
Just
thesis.
really brought my mood down. So like I didn't really like. I just half-assed the thesis prep assignment. Just
Yeah,
like,
I think
hey,
most
it's
people
like-
did. And I did
it's
too.
like another
I got lucky
Yeah.
because I just got the idea and
Yeah.
I thought, well, I'm not changing it. That's
So
what I want
like
to do.
I should have like got started a bit more in the summer. You know.
Yeah, but you also had plenty of time too at the start because like we
Yeah.
had at least a couple weeks.
Okay,
to
well,
plan.
like at the start, I believe you had to submit like an intent or something
Yeah.
That was
in
fun.
August before you even
August?
paid for Twitter. Yeah, it was like
Oh,
August
no.
25th or something. And
What are you talking about?
I don't recall doing that. Maybe it's just your class.
You go to OCA.
man, it was. No, this was the thing is that like I didn't get accepted into a thesis class.
Did they fill up?
Until I was just sort of waitlisted, and then I was waiting for someone to drop before I could swoop in, you know.
But didn't they
No,
add a
you
whole other
consider, like,
section
a-
too?
a-
Nope, they
Vulture.
never
They
did.
didn't?
I emailed the illustration chair.
swooped in.
I was just like, "Are you going to open another set? Is there a possibility as a fifth-year student to get into thesis and
No.
get the hell out of here?"
No,
And
no, come back for six.
He basically said, "No, but there's this painting class that you can take that's like kind of like it, you know." It basically said, well, we don't actually recommend that you take thesis. You know, you don't have to. It's just like
I got the same thing.
it's just like
I got the same thing.
doesn't everybody want to do grad?
The office of the registrar emailed me and said, "Are you sure you want to do a thesis
Yeah.
because it could plummet your GPA?" And I was like, "I don't care about my GPA. Like, what am I gonna do with my?"
I don't know if it's like that in the other sections, but I've been like, they're grading pretty easy in thesis from what I've seen so far. Like, I don't know if it's different in your section.
No,
but I think it's because like it's harder for them to judge it because like it's your idea and like they can only say so much. So it's actually bringing my GPA up.
Yeah, same here. I mean, like my class is really lax. It's just like I didn't have like the outline. I was just going off of like what people were telling me.
Yeah.
Like from documents I were seeing in like a general like thesis file, email, something. So I heard like it was just like, oh, you need like a 25 ideas, 3 pitches, blah blah blah, a bunch of sketches. So I was just like, oh my god! I started working on that like super quick, and then like you know, I kind of scrambled together an idea and just like, all right, let's roll with it.
Yeah.
And then that's just sort of I'm still facing the dominoes of that.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of pressure because like once you pick it, you're stuck with it for the next 2 semesters.
Are you feeling burned out? You know, are you running out of ideas?
A little, like
Has like the list of musicians like
it's constantly changing.
It's up to like the Wiggles and like Hank Williams or something.
Well, I'm really picky when it's come to that. Like, there's a ton out there, but I've been super picky on that list. Like my list, I've got a few from like the first one I made last year, but it's changed a lot.
You could do just like you could do a whole series just on Kanye West.
I know, and that's the thing too, because I put a story up on my Instagram and I was like, I'm doing this project for school. Does anyone have any unreleased albums? And yeah, I got a lot of Kanye's. That's actually that's how I came up with the idea in the first place, was because of Yandi.
Yeah.
So I was expecting to get a lot of that, which I did. But I actually got some good ones too. Like Balloonerisms might be my favorite piece so far, and I had no clue because I'm like a casual fan of these guys. I'm not like a super fan, so I don't know a lot of their released music, let alone unreleased work. So I got Balloonerism from that. Someone told me the MF Doom one, the Missing Notebook Rhyme. So those are two of my strongest, and I would have never found them because some of them, they've made it to like different stages. So like some out there, it's very conceptual, you know, like it's just a 2-word title and no tracks, no visuals, no nothing, right? It's just the artist might have mentioned it once or twice and that's it. Others, like the album's done, like it's all there. There's a cover maybe, there's all the stuff out there, and it just for some reason never released. So with those, it's been a lot easier to make the pieces because I have so much to go off of. Some, I'm just making an entire piece based off the 2 or 3 word title, which is a little more tricky.
Was there like an interesting story you can remember of like an album that went missing? Or
I think the funniest one I found was Pink Floyd's, the Household Objects one. And their idea was to make an entire album using household objects as instrumental. So like kitchen utensils, glasses, any object they could find. But they kind of found out the hard way that it's a lot easier making music with actual instruments and not household objects. So they made a couple of tracks. They actually combined it into a couple. I forgot what album, maybe Wish You Were Here. There was a couple, but they kind of repurposed them. They're not really like, they didn't like make any solo tracks of that, and they obviously scrapped the album idea. But that was a really fun idea, and that was the first piece I started with actually.
Maybe maybe that inspired like the intro to Money. You know, the cash register and the
that was maybe. There's one, maybe it was Shine On You, Crazy Diamond. I think that might have had some of those.
Time.
Maybe
Time was
too.
just a bunch of clocks.
Yeah, I mean, like
it's
people have clocks in their house. They don't have cash registers in their home.
Like it wasn't a bad idea, but
something.
You know, it just probably take a lot more time making an entire album that way. So I could see why they stopped. It's kind of.
I did go to the like the museum.
Oh, they had the exhibition last summer,
yeah,
right?
It was really good.
To go to that. I didn't.
I
They had all their like inflatable stuff. And
I live like 10 minutes from it. I didn't go.
You didn't go? Yeah.
No.
I was there during the CNE.
Oh, Lakin took the pig.
Yeah, I almost
The pig went
did.
missing.
I
And it
almost
was in
took
his
the
back.
pig.
Didn't they have the massive division bell heads there too? Like the
Yeah,
metal
yeah.
I love that cover.
They had like the inflatable pig, like a remade version of it outside, and I was just like walking through the park there, and it was like deflated on the floor, just rolled up, and I was like,
That's funny.
I was like, I could totally just
You know
grab
the-
this. And
Was
like,
it supposed to be like that? I
yeah,
guess.
they were tearing it
of,
down,
like,
right?
When they went to go take that album cover, so they like inflated the pig and it flew over the factory, And then they were like, okay, we need to get it down. Like, oh no, the string like detached.
Yeah.
So they had to shoot it down, and it came down, and like in the press, it was just like inflatable pig over the factory. No one hasn't been found by Pink Floyd. And then they get a call from a farmer who's like, there's a pig in my crops. And they were like so scared that like this album was going to be like the worst thing ever because it like destroyed something. But like, no, it landed safely.
Thank God.
And I was gonna go during the CN, or I was considering going during like the CNE time, but the Pink Floyd exhibit was in the same building as the farm. You know,
That's strange.
and the only partition were curtains, and the farm, you know, it smells like shit.
Oh, yeah,
It was pretty big.
Animal
It was pretty
shit.
big. It
So
didn't
it's just
smell-
like, if I don't want to walk into like the Pink Floyd thing, why it still smells like a dog shit, I mean, a horse shit.
Yeah.
frankly.
Yeah, you're smelling like the cow manure on their cover.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Pink Floyd scent.
No,
It's crazy.
it's like an ambient
ambient
thing, you
thing,
know?
right?
Bastard
Is there
idiots.
any other stories? I want to hear about.
What are some other good ones? The Green Day one I did is kind of interesting because American Idiot's like one of their biggest albums now, and it was actually going to be Cigarettes and Valentines, and apparently the tapes got stolen. That's what they said, but I think there's also a good chance they just scrapped it and started over.
It's a
And
better story.
yeah, but that was a fun one. Max was interesting too because he was working on Balloonerism around the time Faces released, and apparently their intention was to release it after his death, but they already released the one posthumous album, and there's no sign of that one coming out anytime soon. So
Yeah.
the MF Doom one's kind of interesting too because it's called The Missing Notebook Rhymes, and it's actually a real story because I forgot how it went, but like MF Doom's manager stole his notebooks, like with all his rhymes and raps in it apparently, and now his family has been like posting on his social media saying like, give back the notebooks, Egon, because that's the guy's name, and so it's actually a real thing. And they had the album before that even happened. This was from like 2017, and yeah, there's some really interesting ones there, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm trying to have like a variety of different albums because
Yeah.
different styles.
That MF Doom illustration you made, it really blew up.
Oh,
on
I
your
know,
Instagram.
and it's not even. I like it, but like I don't think it's my best for sure. But it happens that way. Like it's always kind of the one you least expect. But that one was crazy.
It's the algorithm. It just like it takes like
Yeah.
the one thing that people are like interested in for like that tiny little period, and it just
Exactly.
explodes.
And that was the one where like I would have never found that if someone didn't
Yeah.
just. I don't know who said it, but shout out to them who gave me
Yeah.
that one and Blue.
You know, it's funny. I reposted your MF Doom art on my Instagram story,
Yeah.
and then like my buddy replied, and he's just like, "Hey, is this one for sale?"
Oh,
And I'm just like, I don't know. Why don't you ask the guy who made it? And he's just
Yeah.
like, oh shit, my bad.
You know, I don't know if I want to sell them yet, or if I want to do something at Grad X, because like I know you can sell prints, and I don't know about originals, but.
So, are you displaying your originals too, or just the?
So the thing is, like, I don't really have any like totally finished originals, because like with my process, I scan the art. Sometimes like the original is somewhat like rough and incomplete, and then I'll scan it and then do the rest digital. So like all of these are being like scanned and printed out. And also I don't work that big too. Like I think my best original so far was the Jimi Hendrix. That one's like, I barely did anything to it in Photoshop. Like I just tweaked the colors a little bit and added the text on top. But the thing is, it's only like 9 by 12, and that's going to be my biggest piece. So it's not going to work out that way. But yeah, like the MF Doom original is pretty good too. Some of them, like the Pink Floyd one's pretty rough. Yeah, it's always my process doing that. Like just sometimes 50% digital, 50% traditional, sometimes more. It just kind of depends on the piece. And that's the issue too, because printing, it's a whole nother issue. Like I've got so many prints made so far. Like I've got 8 pieces done. I'm like 2 for 8 right now with prints because I'm just so picky. But I still want it to look like, I don't want some like glossy print that looks digital. I want to actually make it look traditional still. So now I'm like trying to use different paper, get like sketchbook textured paper, because I'm just trying to desperately find a way to get some decent prints.
And you're going to do them as like record sleeves, right?
Yeah, so I've got some, and those ones are fine because records are usually a little glossy. So like the Mac one's good. I like the Green Day one. And And those are going to be vinyls. And then some of the other ones, like I want some posters in there. I just did a ticket actually because I'm trying to have some smaller things that I can fit in. I've got a CD that I'm working on next for Yandi. I wasn't going to do a big piece for Kanye just for I want to
Controversy,
people to like it.
Yeah.
I would have, because like that's the main reason why I did this in the first place. But I just, something small for Kanye. Get him in there.
A pin badge. You know,
Yeah,
little-
you know. So I've got posters, vinyls, tickets, CDs.
And,
I was going to do an animation too, but the issue is I was going to have a TV displayed at GradX, but there's just too many complications with that. Like, I don't want to be stuck around my booth the entire time. And it's going to be bright in there anyway, so you're not going to be able to see it that great. So that piece is lost forever too now. The Paul McCartney one, the Claymation's Dunzo.
You could do it on an iPad or something, and then you're guaranteed to get wall space.
Is that true?
Well, I mean, can you
Hacks?
attach?
Well,
can you attach an iPad to a piece of cardboard?
It's just the space issue right now for me because the TV was going to go, like, I'm going to have like a couple crates there, like old vinyl crates. It was going to be stacked on top of that. And it's also a little low, which is the issue. Because it's tough finding space for all of them right now. That's the biggest issue.
Do you have those vinyl, like those milk crates now?
Yeah, I do. I got a couple. I got a red and
Okay,
blue
good, because
one.
those are like
They're
skyrocketing in price.
And they're banned. You can't use them for
Yeah.
that anymore, eh?
What,
And
really?
they made them smaller
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
They made 'em
it just
smaller?
it's the exact
Oh.
size, but it just can't fit.
Why are
Yeah,
they
I
banned?
got some good ones. What?
Why are they banned? What?
People didn't. I don't know how what the story is, but like it's meant for they're milk crates, right?
Yeah.
And I guess people were stealing them for vinyls, and they ended up making them smaller, so just small enough so you couldn't fit them in there. So that people stopped stealing them. I guess.
But the milk is in bags, so.
Well, you can go to Sonic Boom and pay
See, 'cause, like-
$40 for
Cause,
a
like-
Crate
crate,
each
yeah.
one.
Because I
Good thing,
like
man, my dad came in
That
clutch for that.
crate
Got 'em.
inflation.
because like I use
Still got 4
the
crates, dog.
I use the crates for like aerosol paint, right? Because then you can put like I think you can fit like it's like 12 cans in there, and then you can stack them on top of each other. And so I know in that like the street art community, there's a huge market for crates too. Like
Everybody wants crates, man.
seriously,
We should start a crate company.
Exactly.
So
Really?
with the
Pod
crates,
crates.
I'm also gonna have like a platform, and then on that, I'm gonna
Yeah.
put like an actual record player. I'm gonna put the Mac one there because I designed the sticker
Yeah.
for it too. So I'm gonna have that spinning around, and then have the vinyl next to it.
Is,
But
is going to be playing music?
no,
No?
just
Okay.
just
'Cause
spinning
I'm
around.
worried
right now.
about
Yeah,
teenager
The lost
days.
And also,
tape.
I don't have the album obviously because it's unreleased. So I just stuck it on some random vinyl I found, and
Yeah.
yeah. But it's just for display, I guess.
someone actually starts playing the vinyl. They're like, "This is the album."
That is not nice.
good looking.
But yeah, space is tight. Like that's the biggest issue here. Like I'm only fitting like 6 big
Yeah.
pieces on it. Like I don't know how you're doing it, but I got like 6.
are
And then I
you
got the
doing
little
a-
ticket, the CD.
Are you doing a country album?
And I couldn't find any. I would have, I was looking for a jazz one too.
see,
I wanted a jazz album.
The
There's none
problem
out
with the country albums is that they release fucking everything.
there. That's why there's not. Yeah,
There's
that's
like
it.
they don't keep anything in the vault. Like the worst, like everything gets.
Yeah.
Look at Willie Nelson. The guy has like 200 albums, and half
Morgan
of them are like
Wallen's pretty good.
studio.
I'd find a good Morgan Wallen unreleased if I could, but
Yeah.
can't. He had like 40 tracks on his last album, so I think that's everything.
Yeah,
Dig
pretty
the
much
ball,
whole
man.
hard drive
Yeah.
is gone.
Honestly, I don't know how I'm gonna do this space. I want to get a wall.
For
and
sure.
I'm just thinking like, look, if the person next to me is like, it's like
Just
da-
control a little bit.
dainty little like teeny tiny like printed at the
Double
OCAD
space
print
over
shop,
here.
just like, oh come on, I can move my thing a little.
Yeah, and like a
What
lot
are
of
they
people,
gonna do?
You're gonna
from what I've seen, they
encroach
don't
on their
take it too
space.
serious. So
Yeah.
like, I think you send them your stuff first. I think once they see your work, they'll be like,
Yeah.
yeah, go
The
ahead.
walls
Like,
go like pretty high too.
Yeah, you get more space.
Would
Like,
you prefer a wall or an X?
Yeah, for sure. Because like I want my work like because they're folded into each other like that, right? And I'm gonna
Yes.
have stuff sticking out. So whoever's next to me is gonna be behind my
Yeah.
display pretty much.
That'd be pretty
So
funny, though,
I'm
if you
thinking
have
about
that-
the person next to me,
Okay,
but I also
that's
want
good.
it for myself too.
It's
Yeah.
Can't lie.
It's interesting though too because they make like against that back window on 5th, I think they put like the cardboard up against the windows too to make like a faux wall there too. So I don't know, like
Well, just get your markup because I heard that. Like, I know someone who didn't get the highest mark in there, and they ended up like in the corner by the bathrooms or something.
Wait,
so
like
just-
from a previous year?
yeah. So just
Okay,
yeah,
I
get
thought
those
they were
marks
already
up, 'cause I don't
delineating
want-
space this year. I'm just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
They get so much foot traffic though.
Yeah,
Because of the
literally,
bathroom.
truly.
Yeah.
truly.
Hey, yeah, it's a
This is
good
the
point.
best spot. That's good advertising. Like shit. Every single person that's gotta go, I'm gonna see your
Free
work.
promo on the way in.
It was
Yeah.
like I think the funniest thing a couple years ago was the person who had their paintings in the hallway on the 4th floor, and it was right beside the boys and girls bathroom and that little hallway there and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was talking to like fucking everybody because like they'd come out the door and be like, "Hey, check out my painting," and I was just like, "Oh my god!" Like,
I gotta sit up.
Yeah. So do people usually like stand by their display the entire time, or? Man, that's a long
as much
day
as you
doing that.
can.
It's like 5 days doing that, right?
Well, the
Yeah.
first day they have a truck with beers, you know.
Oh.
So
the first day is only half a
Right
day.
on.
It starts at like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And then the second day is
high school day.
high school day. That's the day you have to be with your stuff because it
Dude,
will
the
be
kids
stolen.
will
They'll take it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Kids will be
I'm,
like, I want this.
I'm
art.
sure, like, you know, if you got like MF Doom and Mac Miller and like Kanye, the high school kids, man, get prepared
yeah.
to
They're gonna be
answer
stealing my
some
cards.
dumbass questions.
Except I'm not gonna have any business cards.
No?
I'm gonna make receipts, like record store
Oh,
receipts.
that's
I
fucking
see,
cool.
yeah.
So hopefully
That's
I don't
cool.
steal as many as those. But
yeah,
and funny thing is too, like I don't know if you knew this. We were talking about it in class.
yeah.
You have to apply to be considered for any awards. I didn't even
Yeah,
know that.
for the
too.
medal.
Did
Yeah.
you?
I didn't.
And they haven't mentioned it
You
yet,
didn't
so I
know
don't know when they plan on doing
March
that.
1st.
When's
but
March?
I have
1st?
no idea.
It opens, I think, March 1st or 2nd. And
You heard it here first.
you have to,
Yeah, it's
you have
breaking news. 'Cause they haven't
to,
said anything yet.
you have to set up your whole like. Well, have you ever guys ever applied for bursaries or anything at the school? So you got to go on a reward spring and you got to set up your stuff, and then you got to like make a budget sheet and stuff to say how you're going to use the money. It's kind of funny.
Wait, what? Why do?
Because it's like the
PBRs.
medal is a form of bursary, right? It's like them
Yeah.
giving you money for like your success.
Wait, even for GradX?
yeah,
Do you know how much money it is?
$400 and something.
That's it.
That's weak.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck were you guys
I
expecting?
can't,
Like,
I can't even buy myself a fucking
It's
Seiko.
okay. Like, I don't have any expectations anymore when it comes to the school. Online,
yeah.
online mega
more of
crits,
a
online
refund.
GradX, $400.
Yeah.
I can tell you though, like the awards that are more prestigious are like not the like you're only eligible to get one award, but you can apply for as many as you want for your program. Some of the programs like drawing and painting, they have like 12 awards, and some of them range in prizes to like up to like $1,200. There's one that's like $2,000, and then the OCAD one's like $400 and something dollars. I think it's like
Right on,
$412 or something.
Oh, we gotta do our research.
But
So I'm switching to drawing and painting. Any tips?
But yeah, it's coming up in March, I believe. They sent an email out. There's a info session, not next week, but the week after. I think it's
Was
like
there
March 6th or
any
something?
Toronto artists that like had unreleased albums
Well, I don't
that
know
you
about
found?
that.
Anything?
Like, what do you mean? What kind of Toronto
Like Daniel
artists?
Caesar.
Oh,
I thought you meant like Killy.
Or like
Yeah,
Smoke
I
Dog or
I love
something,
Killy.
yeah.
I loved him back in high
Okay,
school. I
yeah, yeah.
loved Kilimanjaro and what's his other album? I don't know, but he. That's about it. That's about it. But
He was hard.
yeah, I couldn't find anyone from Toronto. I didn't want to do Drake.
Pressa?
I wasn't feeling Drake. Pressa. Oh my god, we're not doing him. No Pressa.
I can think of a great image of Drake you could do.
jeez.
quite
He's
recent.
got a few unreleased. But
He
I
does,
wasn't
yeah.
feeling Drake.
I
I
think
don't know why.
he had something released recently, but we'll not get into that.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I was a little late on that one. But I
Oh
get it
my
now.
fucking
I was waiting
God.
for you to. You're always keeping up.
I
with
didn't
the
see it.
I didn't
hippity
see it.
hop stuff.
But yeah, but I just
Hey.
like that was like last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, get with the program, man.
Then come on, man.
Yeah, but
Shout out Drake.
Shut up, fucking Drake. Oh my God.
Yeah, but speaking of vinyl, you had since we last spoke, you actually had a physical vinyl printed with your work on it.
Yeah, I've got I've been
Congratulations,
working
man.
with this. His name's Corey from Near Mint Records, and I think I did 3 for him in the summer, and I just did another one for him now. And yeah, my favorite so far is the Artist is Ransom, and he had this album that's like kind of based on old films.
Yeah.
Called The Director's Cut. So they had me recreate the scene from They Live.
Yeah.
And yeah, actually, I just got him in the mail recently, and it's cool, like seeing your work, like in real
Yeah.
life. Like, there's no better feeling like when people
yeah.
have your work, wear your work. It's cool seeing that. And then I got a couple others that came out too, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to get into that more.
Yeah.
cool having my own vinyls.
I'm just curious. Isn't the character or like isn't the characters of They Live a copyright?
You know, you can.
You
He asked me for it. It was his
Yes.
concept. He just told me he wanted
Well,
this. I'm
you
like,
know,
sure,
don't
dude.
don't shoot the illustrator.
No, no, I'm just doing what I'm told, man. Like,
All right, fuck it, they got away with
yeah,
it.
it's easy money. Here, copy this picture for me. All right.
Yeah.
Not much thinking
Well,
involved there.
when was the film shot?
It's
the
old,
80s.
pretty old.
80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
glasses
not.
one.
It's not.
Probably
It's
is.
not
It probably
a
isn't
John
for years.
Carpenter
Yeah, no.
still alive.
Yeah.
Is John Carpenter?
You should
one of
send him
them's-
one.
Was it
What's
the
Bobby? What's the guy's name? Pipe or something?
Roddy Piper?
Roddy. Yes. Yeah. I think he's passed away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Piper.
Well, whatever. Fuck it. You know.
Man, I
you-
thought the same too.
Did you
but dude,
sign
like,
a contract for that?
I don't. You see, that's my other complaint too.
Okay.
So, do you find it strange we're taking professional practice in year
Yeah, yeah.
4 and maybe not? I don't know, year 1 or 2. Like,
Yeah. Absolutely.
mind blowing. I know, but like, I haven't made too many mistakes. Like with projects like these where I'm kind of familiar with the guy I'm working with, I just send an invoice. That's usually what I do.
Yeah.
I don't do too many contracts, and I haven't like so far. It's been good, but yeah, I've never understood that, and like I like my prof a lot too, but like she just kind of said that, no one knows who you guys are yet. You guys aren't doing like any paid work or anything yet, but like I know some people do, and
Yeah.
it would have been beneficial to some to actually know that stuff.
Yeah.
But thankfully, like I look back and like I've definitely made some mistakes, but it could have been worse.
Yeah.
Maybe would have helped taking that earlier, but
It should be like a every year type of thing, refresher.
Yeah.
It's like
or
too many
just
years.
get it out of the way quick. Like I don't know why you're waiting till the last year to teach that.
Because we're getting launched into the world of illustration.
It's funny. I went in my professional practice for design class. I had like a 97 for the whole semester and stuff.
There's no every law.
And then no, because it was like online and it was like, like multiple choice question things. And it was such like
Okay.
simple shit. Like, can you like take somebody else's logo and change it and then say that's all your work? Well, no, fuck no.
No, and some of it is common sense.
Yeah, I
too.
know.
Like quite a bit of it is common sense. You should kind of know, but there's some stuff in there. Like
Thing was for me is I got to like the last like 2 weeks of the class and I had like this essay assignment or some shit for it and like a whole like proposal for like a whatever and I didn't do it and my mark went from like a fucking 97 down to like a 71%.
hey, well, at least it was that
It's
high
like-
to begin with. You're good.
But like that's what was strange about it though was because like in the class like it was a class with like 120 people in it because it was online and like we didn't get taught shit. It was just like videos. They were like, okay, watch this video on how to do like an invoice. Watch this video on how you do like basic tax stuff if you're self-employed. And I was like, I mean, yeah, that's great, but like there was no like guidance, no actual it was so easy to just fake it,
Yeah.
like you could just, it was literally like multiple choice. You don't learn any
it
of
was
the stuff.
an
You don't
easy
make
class
the
for
mistakes,
sure.
right?
Yeah. But I still I don't know what you think on it, but I didn't mind it. Like it was pretty good. It was an
Professional
easy class
practice?
for sure.
It was a
yeah.
very easy class, and I
And-
thought it was helpful. It just
Yeah.
went too fast. Went by too fast, I feel like a
know.
little bit more time with things would help cement it more, because I feel like a lot of it just went through one ear and out the other.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
true. And like it did take some time to actually build up because like you hear a
Yeah.
lot like make sure you get paid before you start working and
Yeah.
don't fall for any scams and just I don't know. But then it did get more detailed and like where we're talking about
Yeah.
contracts and all the different terms and everything.
Yeah, because it's just like every illustrator knows the most flakiest of clients are rappers.
Oh yeah.
The only times I've ever been screwed over were by
Dude, always
Small rappers.
50% up front.
50% up front. That was my
And if they're really
my blunder,
scummy, then 100% up front. No risk.
Scam
No.
them.
We're gonna screenshot it and
Scammer
pay
gets
half
scammed.
of
It
it.
Can't be,
All right, this is
and
good.
you have to have like a wall of watermarks.
Yeah,
you
you can never be too careful.
they
with those
they
guys.
don't give a fuck. They will like
That's why it's so much easier working with like the record label I'm working with, where
course,
I'm not
yeah.
dealing with them. He's the middleman, and I'm
Yeah.
He has
you
to
know.
deal with them.
Exactly,
Yeah, you know what I mean, exactly. So it's best of both
Yeah, it's
worlds. I'm just
that's a great game.
chilling there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't have an issue working with the guy.
So do you
I'll keep
just
doing more.
get like assignments from the record label?
Yeah, like
They
he
match you to an artist?
I don't know like how he's like he works with other artists too, so I don't know
Yeah,
how he's
yeah.
picking, but like he'll reach out to me every now and then and be like, "Yo, I got this artist has so and so." Recently, he's been doing a lot of like anniversary albums. Like I don't know if you know Lydia. It's a pretty like underground band, I think, but they just had like a 10-year anniversary of Red Devil, one of their albums that I just did. So he's getting me to work a lot on like anniversary covers where I'm like redrawing something in my style. So like it's not so far it hasn't been very conceptual, which is the one issue. Like I don't mind like just copying a picture in my style, but it gets kind of
Yeah.
tiring after a
Stale,
while. So
yeah.
eventually I do want to start hopefully working on better projects, but like so far it is what it is. Like I like doing vinyls and I like seeing my work in person like that. So I'll do it for now and we'll see how
Every
it goes
illustrator's dream, you know?
Yeah.
But, okay, but like here's an illustrator nightmare. It's grad X, everything's going well, you had a great reception. All of a sudden, you get an email. It's John Carpenter. Just like, that's my image.
Yeah, well, dude, he's not emailing
Going
me. He's
into-
emailing Corey from
Oh,
New
okay.
Records. So,
So you're
good luck,
good.
Corey, on that.
You just
but,
say,
yeah,
hey, no contract, you know?
No.
You know.
no proof I even did it.
I plead
Exactly.
the fifth.
It's in your style.
Well, yeah, you could say that.
It's your.
just respond
Yeah,
to him
exactly.
back. What the heck? Someone ripped me off too. This is my style.
It's like, can
Yeah.
you prove this is Roddy Piper?
Someone get that guy.
I'll say Mark did it.
Yeah. Oh, no.
He copied my style.
Yeah, a hot potato. And
What album are you working on now?
Now, well, I just finished the last two, so now I've got some time to think. But I know my next two, I'm gonna do Yandi. I'm saving that one for last, and this Johnny Cash and Bob Dylan collab project.
Oh, got
Wanted Man?
I don't. It doesn't even
Who's,
have a name. It's just called like Johnny Cash and Bob Dylan Sessions.
Oh, that's awesome.
The only issue with that
Yeah.
though is like, technically it kind of is released.
Yeah.
And that's the issue with all these too, because like they're not like there's leaks and all that.
Yeah.
They're out there, but I guess it's not like officially released. So I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
And I really want to like change up the vibe like that because I couldn't find any like jazz albums or anything country. So like I want to do. I feel like that one's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm still gonna do it anyways.
Yeah.
I've been wanting, and that one was on my list like last year too, and I've had it there for a while, and I was just debating if I want to switch it out for something,
Yeah.
but I haven't found anything better. So at this point, I think I'm gonna do it.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to think of unreleased jazz albums. It's a really
For
Hard
some
one.
reason, like
It's
I
like-
could not, like I Googled, I went on different sites, and I don't know if it's a thing with jazz. Like maybe it's like country, they're just putting out
putting
40 track
it out there,
albums.
you
But
know?
At any bar.
Because like
someone will
every
have a-
jazz guy like dies at like 28 years old. So
But
it's just
I'm
like
also
they
not like too
release
familiar with
everything.
jazz. Maybe that's why I'm not finding them. But
if you meet one jazz head and they're gonna be like, "What do you mean? There's like 100 albums that haven't been released."
Yeah.
Would you say this project's opened up your music taste?
yeah, for sure. Like I was never listening to Pink Floyd that much. Like I was familiar with like Money and some of their big tracks, but it got me into it, and it's definitely like because as I'm working on these, I'm like inspired to kind of listen to these albums that I haven't gave really a chance before, and I'm become a fan along the way of some new artists.
You need to listen to Dark Side of the Moon and
Yeah, I
also
love that.
watch Alice in Wonderland at the same time.
Oh, I've heard that. You gotta be like high for that.
That
too,
was like
right? And
first part of your research. It's
I-
like,
I-
what?
I'm aware of that, but I don't
Yeah.
smoke or anything.
I thought
so
it was
know
Wizard
that's
of
gonna go.
Oz.
Oh, it was Wizard of Oz. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's Wizard of
Yeah.
Oz.
Yeah.
I
Apparently they
smoked so much I
sync
thought I
up.
was watching Alice in Wonderland.
Jesus Christ.
Apparently it syncs up. I also heard Dark Side of the Moon syncs up with Mall Cop, Paul Blart.
I thought it syncs up with. Does it sync up with? Is that the one? Not Alice. What's the other one? What's the movie again?
Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
It
it's
does,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Apparently it syncs up with everything, but I think that's just like human pattern recognition, and weed.
Literally. Yeah.
Yeah. Once you're
Weed
high
will
like
make
that, you can sync up
everything
with anything.
sync up.
Yeah,
Boss
exactly,
baby,
yeah.
for all I care.
He's like, oh, I feel it. Yeah, it's.
It's, Pink Floyd and Cocomelon, a good mix.
Right on.
Was there any albums that like you're researching and they're just like considering and they're just like, this is a dumb album?
I have a pretty long list, but like not because it's dumb. Like I'm kind of like the biggest thing I'm
Yeah.
basing it off of is the title. So like if it's something I already did, like if there's another Balloon album out there or something, then I already have like the Mac one, so I'm not doing that. Some of them are kind of goofy. I was gonna do one by Beach Boys called Smile. But
Yeah.
I didn't do that. I was gonna do this isn't because it's bad. I was gonna do Prince. I was gonna do Dream Factory.
Yeah.
But that
By
one was going to
Dream?
be too similar to the Jimi Hendrix one. Like I think it's just similar color palette.
What was the story behind Black Gold, the Jimi Hendrix one?
So from what I remember, he was working on these series of tracks in like the 70s, and I think it was going to be paired with some like autobiography too. So I felt like it was going to be very personal to him. And I don't really know what happened to it. I think his like estate was teasing it kind of a while ago, saying they'd release it, but that was like 20 years ago. So no one really knows what's up with it now. And it's like considered to be the holy grail of unreleased music.
Oh.
So I had to do that one. Like that was, it was either that one or Prince. So I kind of went with that. And
I have like a record of like a Jimi Hendrix like autobiography, and like it'll play a song, and then it's a friend telling a story of like Jimi Hendrix like, throughout his life.
That's cool.
And but I don't know like if that's like was after his death or because it. Do you remember seeing him with a 12-string and he's like playing in a white room? It's that.
Blues,
yeah, but maybe that was like after they put that together, but
I'm not too sure. Like
interesting.
I just know he's working on it in like the 70s, I think. But like there's not some of these. There's not a lot of information surrounding them.
Pass away in 1969.
I think it's pretty
Yeah.
young, right?
Oh, 70.
They'll do the same thing with Drake. It'll be a Spotify playlist with a song and then one of his friends talking about his life.
Yo, so
If he's still alive,
It's
though,
actually
so-
breezy. Using the stew cooking vibe.
That's why I didn't do Drake.
Are you familiar with the original cover for Electric Ladyland?
Oh.
I'm not.
Oh, okay. So
Who's
like
that by?
Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, see, I'm not
pull it
a
up.
big
Okay.
like Jimi Hendrix.
It was the I think it was
Apparently he hated every single one he
European or British pressing of it, which is the original, and the original cover was a photograph of about like 30 nude women.
Nice. Good one, Jimmy.
That was the entire,
Oh,
but it
he
wasn't
didn't-
his
got
idea.
taste.
It wasn't his idea.
It wasn't his idea. It was the label's idea.
Oh.
And then he hated it, and then they changed it.
Oh,
to
yeah,
It's like
Secret
the
Pimp.
same
See, there you
like
go.
for Access Bowls
Yeah,
of
you
Love.
see, I've never seen any of this stuff. I don't have time to
didn't
like
like it.
research
It
like
was
in
like the
depth
Led
of all
Zeppelin,
these
right?
artists.
Yeah, so one. You should find the picture where it's like the full spread.
The full spread.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Unfortunately,
by
we
that, Mark?
can't put that on the show.
What do you mean by
Safe
that?
search?
What do you
Sorry,
mean by that,
Elmer.
Mark? Full spread.
Yeah. You should illustrate that.
A little too late. But
A little too late. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Maybe
Sure you did it,
I'll make a
Jimmy.
companion
Oh,
piece.
this-
to
Okay.
it,
like
Yeah.
the
you
You
know?
full
wanna-
spread.
yeah. The full spread, like because it's a record.
Hey, yo.
Yeah.
All of it.
All right. Illustrate that.
That's a double cover right there.
Double cover.
Damn.
Yeah. Easter egg. You know.
You know I would, but running tight on space.
Too much
now.
wall space.
Double
Yeah.
cover myself.
It's too big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've covered a lot about your thesis, but you've also worked on a big project with Unfinished Legacy.
That's right. So I actually knew about the Bucks collab before our last pod, but like every now and then I'll get like big projects like that thrown my way, but they never actually go anywhere. So like
Yeah.
I didn't want to like bring it up or anything. And like he mentioned it to me because like I was working with him. I've been working with the guy since like 2020.
Yeah.
So I've done a lot for him at this point, and he kind of reached out to me and he was like, I got this collab coming up with the Bucks. Would I be down to work on it? And I'm like, yeah, of course, it's the Bucks. I'm not
Was this
saying no
just
to that.
through Instagram?
Just through like text. And,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay.
But he's called, like we hopped on a couple calls too about it.
Yeah,
but so then like I said, okay, I'm down, but I didn't hear from him for like another 2 or 3 months. So I kind of thought like, you know, it's just another one of those projects that
Yeah.
it's lost forever, you know?
Lost
Like,
forever.
like,
Yeah. Exactly.
And then around the start of last year, he hit me up again. He's like, it's go time. He's doing it. It's official. And so then I started coming up with some ideas for it. And like the biggest thing for me was trying to do something that's a little different from their typical merch because it's a big brand, obviously, and they have a lot out there. So like my first step was going on their site and just browsing through different merchandise they put out in the past. And one of my first ideas was to play around with like the negative space and have like a very graphic image of the buck with like the butterfly on its nose. And he loved it. So I didn't really spend too much time like planning it out. And
Yeah.
you know, because his motif is the butterfly,
Butterfly,
Unfinished
yeah.
Legacy, and the Bucks is obviously the deer.
Yeah.
So, and it turns out, like I was looking at the Bucks logo, the butterfly just it mimics the nose perfect
Yeah.
for it. I'm like, that's
Yeah,
genius.
that's
Like I'm
true.
not. That's what
Yeah.
else am I gonna do? Like that's it. And I knew the second I did it, like that's
yeah.
what I'm going with. And he loved it. And I didn't know this, but he was actually working with a few other designers and artists at the time, not just me. So he sent them all to the Bucks, whoever he was working with, talking to with the Bucks, and they ended up picking mine to go with.
So cool.
Yeah.
And
Sent it to Giannis.
Yeah. I was
Who's
just
like,
to make
dude,
the
I tried
same
getting
joke.
Giannis. I got Brooke Lopez, the next best. So
Okay.
that's all I got. But it's still cool seeing the players. Like they got J. Rule wearing it. One of their rookies too was modeling for them. And
That's cool.
Repping it, but yeah, so it was arena exclusive, and it sold out. Like people were lining up the morning of, hours before they even opened for their game, and it sold out the day of. So it's a cool feeling knowing that people liked it.
Do we have some photos of it?
Yeah,
that we could pull up.
Yeah,
we'll pull up. There's one right
Look
here.
at that right there.
The butterfly's so good,
That's so
man.
cool.
And it
And
worked,
the
like,
animation
dude,
was
I was just
perfect.
messing around in Photoshop, like figuring out where should I put the butterfly.
Yeah.
Put it on the nose. I'm like, yes, that's it.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah.
And I was gonna put 20, I think the year, whatever it was, 2023, but they didn't want to like date it, and they actually did pretty bad in the playoffs last year. So it's actually good they didn't date it, not a good year to put that on. So 1963 was the year they found it, so they had me do that instead.
Did they end up giving one to Damian Lillard? Now they just there?
I'm not sure. They actually just had a new collab with the other
yeah.
designs that they didn't pick the first round. They just did that. And yeah, Complex posted it, which is pretty cool, and it got a lot of positive feedback. And those were the initial sketches I made. You can see the butterfly on the nose. And
So cool.
What if you had to do
Some of
one
the
for the Denver Nuggets?
Denver Nuggets.
This is
Dude,
still good as
that's-
an NBA team.
Yeah, a butterfly on a nugget.
Right. It'd be worse if like Detroit Pistons this year. And
Yeah,
then,
the
like,
Bucks. It's a sweet.
They're
like, it's-
wearing it
Yeah.
while like they
Yeah.
go 23-0.
Yeah, the
Or-
Bucks. I love their jersey too. Like that was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
sweet team.
It's a nice color palette too.
For sure.
You know, like the
cream and
green is
yeah.
so sexy.
It's amazing how many projects, like, you know, people see the big projects, but they don't see how many projects flop.
No.
In the DMs, you know.
Yeah,
After I did a cover for Bad Bad Not Good, I got like maybe 5 DMs from people just like, I want you to design my my next album. I'm just like, all right.
tell them your rates,
when's-
they don't get back to you.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, when's the? No, I just asked like, when's the deadline, or just any response back.
No.
They don't come back. What happened? Where did they go? What happened to the big album?
Unreleased.
Lost forever. You know,
Lost
exactly.
forever.
I have at least 5 additions
forever.
to your thesis. I
Yeah.
can
Are
add.
any of them jazz?
No.
No, yeah, I could have used them, man.
All
Got the
SoundCloud,
cover
all
on.
SoundCloud rappers.
Yeah.
Are any of these editions country?
No. No, they would have been.
Yeah, that's
released.
why I haven't worked with like any smaller like rappers and artists recently, because it just takes too long to
Yeah.
filter through them. So I just don't even bother at this point. Like I feel bad because
Yeah.
I know some of them actually genuinely are like willing to, you know, pay for my work. But,
Yeah.
like it's just, I don't know. It's too much time going through it.
I remember like a Instagram buddy of mine, illustrator. Do you know Zach Joseph Illustration on Instagram?
Yeah, I love his work.
Yeah,
Love
he's
it.
great. I remember one time he posted on his Instagram story, just like, he's just like, that's it. I'm not doing any work for you so-called rappers. I'm done. Money up front, you know. And then I'm just like, oh, poor Zach. Another one bites the dust,
Fell
man.
victim.
They
Should have
got
took
him.
professional practice.
Yeah. They don't have that in Detroit, unfortunately.
I guess at least we get it later.
Yeah.
Better late than never.
Yeah, for real.
But
for real.
Can never do it first, man. Always get that dough in. 50%, that's
50,
all.
50%.
Doesn't have to be 100. Just get some in and get
Yeah.
cooking.
I mean, it's even like if you can just get them to like pay a consultation fee, you know, like your time is fucking money too, right?
Dude,
Like,
you should honestly start. That's a good idea. Like, I'll filter them out real quick.
seriously, no,
Yeah.
it's where it's like truly like once you start treating yourself, you're no longer a designer, you're a director. Like, shit, it just changes the game.
that's my favorite.
Now you have to pay the designer and the director.
It's my favorite thing. Like,
Yeah, twice the double budget.
to ask illustrators that come on here, just like, so, like, what's your experience with like the SoundCloud rappers? They're just like, fuck, you know. Remember Chesco?
Yeah,
He had a lot to
he
say.
had a lot to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just lucky. Like, I never had any, like, issues. Like, I mentioned the one thing I had last pod, but other than that, and I still got paid for it too. So, like, I got a pretty good record going right now.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, yeah. I just
That's good
You know,
news.
always taking the
I'm
50
telling
up
you,
front.
man. John Carpenter is gonna email you. He's gonna
That too.
find that.
That's
He's gonna find that
You
cover.
never know. That could be my first battle. We'll see. I'll pull my notes out from professional practice and see if I can whip something up.
Wiggle your way out of
You
it.
know,
Well,
hey, you can't recognize it now, or it's what's it called? After 50 years, it becomes public domain.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
close enough. I'll round it to that. Hey,
I think-
that's pretty old.
there's like, you could maybe argue that it's like changed enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
you know,
that it was
it's
just
stylized.
inspiration.
Yeah.
Changed at least like I think it's 60 or 70%.
Yeah.
In American standard. Like 60 to 70%, it's a new identity.
Yeah.
But how do you quantify? What if it's like
Well,
69%?
That's
I
the
need to
thing.
battle that out in
You battle that
Screwing
out.
around.
Sliding scale.
Uh,
I think we have some more photos.
Yeah.
Look at some
Well, I
of
was
your
gonna
thesis work.
ask, like,
sort of did. We talked about them.
yeah.
We can throw them in.
I was going to ask about like your process for. Are you doing a different stylistic approach for each one, or like a media approach? Because I saw you're doing like monotypes.
I'm trying to. Like, my goal from the start was kind of just to experiment a bunch. And
Yeah.
because I usually get sick of doing the same thing over and over again. So, like, I've got some monotypes. I just started doing that. And I think you're the one who mentioned that it reminded you of Gary Kelly. And I love his
He's
work.
like
and
the king of monotypes.
yeah, and that's how I got the idea.
I don't even know what a monotype is. Could you explain?
One print, mono, one, and then I don't know why they call it type, but it's either monotype or monoprint. So it's just you can only make one print.
Yeah.
So with when I do it, I know some people have like a different method. Like I just started out in the summer getting a little practice, and I started out with like just some piece of plexiglass, and covered that with ink, and you press it against a page, and you can't mess up because that's it. You got one chance.
I
And
see.
now I'm using like a gel plate.
Jelly.
I see that on
yeah.
Instagram so much.
Yeah,
Like
they're fun.
People using the gel plates.
They're
and-
Yeah, I don't know. It looks cooler, but I haven't noticed much of a difference. But I have fun doing that because you're not really like stressing about, like your next paint stroke or where you're doing what, like what mark you're putting down. Because it's very like, you kind of don't really know what to expect because once you print it down, like before that, you have no idea how it's going to look.
It's chance.
Yeah,
It's
and that's what makes it fun because like the imperfections make it neat, and I love the
Yeah.
textures you get from doing that too. And it was funny because like the one piece I did, the first one, the commission, I started off like I was just so new to mono printing at that time, so I did like a rough version of the commission piece, and it actually turned out all right. Like it was my first time, but like I didn't mind it. And then when I went back in to do a more refined one, I didn't like parts of it as much. It looked too clean and it didn't look like a mono print. So I actually, for that one, and this is the reason why I don't have any originals to display, because I ended up combining both of them in Photoshop. And that's just always why. Like I don't know how you do it. I envy people like you that can just do it all traditional, but I can't. Like I always
It's a headache.
give me 20 minutes in Photoshop and I'll make it look 20 times better. Like get some gradient maps on there, get the color adjustments going. Like,
Yeah, man. Wood panels and brushes are not the industry standard anymore. So,
No,
I gotta brush up on the
that's
Photoshop
what's cool though,
skills.
because no one else does it. Like even in thesis class, there's not many people that work traditional anymore.
Yeah.
I can truly say like from like last year too is there is like this. I feel like if you have physical work and stuff, it does get better.
Grades.
Not grades, but just
The-
like
the profs love it. They love
perception,
it.
right?
Yeah,
Because
and
it's
that too,
like
yeah.
it's like damn, this is like a real physical thing versus like on the cardboard when it's just like fucking tiny little printouts. You can see that
Yeah,
they've
I mean,
been
just that they
cut, like,
reuse
day
the same
before, and
5
it's-
Procreate brushes, and they appreciate the process more because it definitely
Yeah.
is more work doing it traditional, and I
Yeah.
like it too because like digital is great at like replicating a lot of traditional like textures, but
Yeah.
you can't match it. You can't get the same thing. So that's why like I kind of just switch back and forth and like, but in some cases it really helps. Like I don't know if you have the Mac one there, but and I posted the process too on my IG. Like that one, the only part I did traditional was the face and the sky and the hill. Because when it comes to like little details like the balloons, I'll overthink it for so long. Like I'd be working on that to this day probably if I did that traditional. So it's so much easier scanning that, getting the easy stuff out of the way, and then I could mess around in Photoshop and not worry about messing it up. Like I had so many different balloon variations, like what size do I want this one, what design do I want on it, and it just when there's stuff like that, I overthink it so much, and I can't do it traditional. So that's why I have to. I don't have a choice, or I'll still be working on it.
And if you like screw up in traditional, like you're
No
wasting
going back. No
materials.
undo button on that.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the best thing about digital.
Yeah. That I'm curious because we've never had a class together.
No, I can't believe
So,
it. Dude.
like,
4 years and not one.
Are you are you a demon during the critiques? Or like I'm curious because you mentioned there's a few anime folk. Like I'm curious
Like,
if you
The one thing with critiques is
tear 'em a
that
new one or
you can't really be too honest because like you can say like fix this one little thing, fix the colors, fix the line work. But at the end of the day, is that really gonna save it?
Yeah. You know,
See, that's where it's different in graphic design, I guess, because like our crits, it's like if people don't like it, they will tell you. They're like, yeah, this design does not work.
because you could just hit
But
undo.
in my thesis class this year, it's quiet as a mouse in there. Like I just told you guys today, the critique I had in my printmaking class.
Yeah.
3-hour class, we had 10 people go. I didn't have time to go. It's insane. But in my thesis class, it is Gary, my teacher's the only one doing the talking. Like no one
Yeah.
else. Like I don't.
Likewise.
That's same.
You know, like it's artists, like
Same.
no one, and they don't make us. They used to make us like say, you know, give feedback on 3 people, and
Like
so in
first
the past,
year, yeah.
In the past, it has been, and I like that more. Like I like giving feedback. I like getting feedback.
yeah.
So it's kind
Sometimes
of
I
defeats
just-
the purpose of a critique when no one's saying a word.
I guess it's just sort of crazy that like, you know, when it was like online school and stuff, it was discussion posts. I got more
my
fucking
God.
feedback than when they
Oh,
were
yeah.
required to actually post than when I'm physically
it was
standing
online,
in front
And
of
you
the
needed the
Exactly.
points, you
Yeah,
needed
yeah.
discussion points for that too. Academic
Literally.
engagement.
Literally, and like that's all it was. And like now it's like you can just show up, and as long as you're in the crit, like in the classroom, you're getting a
Yeah,
participation grade.
And like I was expecting thesis to be like the most difficult class so far, and everything's chill about
It's
it.
super
The
chill,
critiques,
yeah.
the grades, everything
just a
about
bit
it.
consistent. That's the thing, you know. Like,
Yeah, and you gotta be self motivated, obviously,
Yeah.
and make sure you're keeping on top of things.
I
and-
think like the thing that's scaring me the most about it is like how soon it just ends though, you know?
Oh,
like
yeah.
for me, for example, after March 28th, that's it. The class is done. Whatever you've handed in or finished, that's your grade. So it's a kind of like this like true like pressing deadline where it's like, holy shit, like after that critique, that's it. Like I'm done at this school.
It flies by.
That's
It's
all.
crazy. Like especially because I've only spent 2 years actually
Yeah.
in school, so it's insane. It feels like I'm in year 1 still, and now I'm done. This is it.
Yeah.
Unless coding.
I want to make like a
Unless, yes.
quick
We'll see.
anecdote. Like, there's this one person in my thesis class who's doing their work tattoos on people. So by the
That's
time,
ambitious.
yeah,
They
so
gotta
it is.
all show
Yeah.
up.
So by the time we, you know, when we do our critiques, it's just like it's already on someone's skin. So like, what are you gonna say? It's just like, yeah, the proportions are off. Like, what are they gonna do?
Oh,
It's
yeah,
on someone's body.
gross
So
someone.
everyone's quiet. as a
Tattooing
mouse.
other people.
Yes. Yeah.
So how is the grad X? You're gonna bring in
It's
like
gonna-
10
everyone
people in the
is
grad
gonna
X
stand
line?
That'd be
there,
fun,
yeah.
but
That's
no, it's
gonna
just
be a big wall
yeah,
space.
it's just
We're not getting our
pictures,
wall
you know?
spaces now.
So it's just like everyone's quiet as a mouse because it's just like you don't want to like just
Insult someone's
Someone's
tattoo.
tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
after
good
it's
point.
done.
Like with some of
Yeah.
these too, like when I'm doing Rhizo prints, is it Rhizo? I don't even know how you say it. Rhizo,
I
Rhizo,
say
same
Rhizo.
thing.
I
I
think
call it
it's
Rhizo. I like
Rhizo.
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 But like I just did a Rhizo for my last
Rizography.
piece, and, Gary, like, he had a suggestion about maybe adding a highlight to
Yeah.
the sauce. It's like, man, it's a little too late now.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's a 4-color print. Like, I
Well-
dropped like $30 on those things. Like,
Well, I mean,
there's not
it's
much I can do now.
It's not though. You can always take a Rizzo print and screen print on top
Yeah.
of it. You can still
That's
screen
true.
on top.
But I tried it. I tried doing the highlight thing in Photoshop. I didn't like it, so I'm just leaving it. You know.
Fair enough. Fair fucking enough.
you know. I just want to say that I'm a huge fan of your work,
Likewise.
and you know the reason your MF Doom exploded was because I posted on my story.
That's it.
So you know I'd like to, or we'd like to help you out as much as we can.
I
So in
appreciate
fact, you
that.
know, you need some records to fill the record crates. So we got a gift for you.
No way. It's like
here-
Nardwar.
Yeah.
We're getting gifts now.
We got a gift.
Well,
Always.
you know,
Wow.
you need 10 records for your thesis, right?
Well,
To 8.
you know what? I was just gonna put one in the crate and like fill it behind just blanks. You know what I mean? 'Cause I don't want people taking them. They're
Well,
gonna
don't-
take those
you know,
records, dude.
We got you.
We got
Oh way.
some country for. We got Hank Williams.
No way.
No?
Let's
Yeah.
go.
There you go.
Enjoy
Thank
that.
you very
You like
much.
Hank Williams?
I am not familiar to be
Well,
honest.
you
but
better-
I'll give it a spin.
well, you
I don't even
better-
have a record
Oh, yeah.
player, but we'll get that.
You better
going.
get a record
You
player.
better get a record player for this.
I
one.
just do it for the cover art, you know.
You better because we actually got you all the
Oh
Hank
my
Williams at Cops Records.
Yeah.
Oh, you've been to Cops?
So give him a read. Yeah.
I
Why
get
don't you go
mine from
through
Cops,
the.
too. On Stage, Volume 2.
Got every single Hank Williams at Cops Records.
Oh,
love
he's
that.
amazing.
So there's some old
Sings like
guy
an angel.
You actually sounded like Nardwar there for a
who's
second.
looking through the
Are you,
bin.
gonna take these back like Nardwar too? Is this just for show?
He takes it back.
Yeah, he does. He borrows all
Evil
his gifts.
Nardwar?
He borrows all of his
No,
gifts
you're
from collectors.
hauling that all home.
Yeah.
Buddy, I don't have
that's
space in
yours.
my bag.
Well, that's
Oh.
your problem.
Enjoy.
Wow. Dude, I don't know what to say. I love these. I love that. And that covers nasty.
We can say is, hey, good looking.
If you want to, because you're very business oriented. If you want
I
to,
am.
Cops
that.
Records doesn't have any Hank Williams right now. So if you go back and sell them,
Dude, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not
You're
putting these
gonna-
on
okay,
eBay
okay.
after.
That would be fucking
No.
hilarious. They're like, you walk in, they're like, wait, someone just bought all of them.
No, that's a scumbag move doing that. I'm not.
okay,
I love
well,
these.
You know, thesis gets expensive. But,
That's me after thesis.
Man, I'd
Show
put
the
these.
camera.
I'd put these in the crates, but people might take these, dude.
whatever.
All the high school kids coming for Yandi are gonna be fishing in my crates. For
Yeah,
these.
but you know,
They'd be like, "This is not
you're like,
Yandi."
why is there only
You're gonna
Hank
put them on
Williams?
Hank Williams. But,
Yeah, put them on.
They don't know I'm safe.
Still looking at him. Man. You got-
That's not
like,
Kanye.
So we got like your entire 10 thesis pieces,
Yeah.
plus some extras if you wanna.
Dude, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Wow. You
Yeah.
didn't have to do that.
But,
We're getting gifts now.
of
Does
course,
everyone
yeah,
get gifts? Or
everyone
just,
Oh, yeah, everyone gets a
yeah.
gift.
Really?
But anyways, man, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Dude, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
You know, I'll come back. We'll get a third one after GradX, 3P. We'll see. If
Hell yeah.
I have anything exciting going
Until
on.
next time.
Until next time.
We'll see you there. This has been PODCAD.
Is there anything you want to plug before?
Dude, I already told you. I literally have nothing. Just thesis.
We'll check
Thesis
him
are
out
lost-
at
lost
Hubbz
forever.
Art.
After this,
When's
you're
it
gonna
start? When's
plug.
thesis start? When's GradX,
don't
actually?
know.
April.
May 1st to 5th.
You'll figure
What
it
he
out.
said.
You'll see it on the subway.
You'll see the posters.
Take it easy.
Take it easy,
guys.
guys.
All right.
You'll
Cool.
see it on the subway.